Alright, so nagbabalik tayo sa ating violin tips and tricks. And for today's video, we are going to talk about our bow hold and how do we effectively stop yung rolling ng bow, no? So when we play, especially for beginners out there that tend to roll their bow or tilt their bow uncontrollably because of their bow hold, ano yung mga pwede nyong gawing exercises and how to stop it altogether. Yan. Okay. So, when we talk about bowing or tone production, we always need to understand that your bow is optimal when it comes to the sound that it produces if it lays flat. Okay? So whether you're trying to make it loud and clear or soft but still be able to really get the sound that you want, the most optimal position is a flat bow. Ayan. So flat bow will help you draw out the sound that you want evenly, no? Sometimes mas ma-lessen yung scratches if you're really playing scratchy. Kasi a lot of people tend to tilt the bow, and what ends up happening is, yes, you get a less scratchy sound, pero nawawala yung body niya. You just have to understand that a flat bow will give you more contact, will give you more than enough bow in order for you to really get a great sound from your bow. Yan. So, yung mga beginners kasi, since they're not really used to holding the bow, tend to lose the contact points that you set for them. For example, these are my contact points, no? And if I would play, minsan pag nilapag ko dito and then we want to move the hand, what ends up happening is that the fingers lose contact and the bow slips. So dito lumalabas yung unwanted na tilt or nagro-roll nga. So I'm calling it as a roll because when you tilt it, very konti lang siya and control. But when it rolls down your hands or your fingers, you don't really have much control over that. So it rolls through your fingers. So nagro-roll siya. Gumaganyan siya. It goes down, no, nagtitilt going either to your bridge or going to the other way. Usually nangyayari to when we do down bow. Sa down bow gumaganon kasi sumasama siya. Diba? So nawawala yung sound. Okay? And when we go up, nagtitilt naman siya pabaliktad. Of course, tilting is a technique that eventually you would use, but if you're starting out, flat bow is the way to go. No? Versus no? So ganun yung nangyayari, nagiging inconsistent yung sound because you're tilting or rolling the bow in different directions, plus you're not getting enough friction in order for you to really get the sound that you want. So why is this happening? So again, it's because one, beginners tend to lack that feel, no, na parang lagi nga sinasabi, parang nakadikit yung ating kamay sa ating bow, no? So those contact points will always remain the same whether I'm tilting it to this direction, I'm tilting it to that direction. But if you pull down and the bow goes like this, nagro-roll siya, nawawala siya. So this is what happens, no? So instead of tilting using the thumb, diba? Kasi when we tilt the bow, we tend to use the thumb as that is the fulcrum of your bow. So, diba, sa levers, this is where the change happens. So, the same thing, when you try to tilt, dito siya. Hindi nagbabago yung contact points. So, the contact points remain the same. It's exactly the same position, but your thumb can move that bow. Now, this is what happens when you roll. When you roll, nagsislip. So, another contact point. Pumupunta sa ibang contact point yung fingers. That's why you're not as secure as you were before. Why? Mas malayo na yung fingers natin to the optimal position. Next thing is when you move naman up, the same thing happens, masyado namang malapit. So there's this sweet spot when it comes to contact points that will really help you find the right position for you. So it will depend on one person to another, depende sa hand size, di ba? Mapag-usapan na natin before. But making sure that that contact point remains the same will help create a nice sound. So again, when you tilt the bow, you move with your thumb. Okay? Yung thumb yung nagiging turning point. Ayan, doon siya umiikot. Doon siya nag-turn. That's the tilting point. No? Not your fingers. But what happens is if you roll your bow, yun, doon natin nakikita, it's your fingers that are changing its position. And also the wrist, no? So, when you want to tilt, you don't actually move a lot of your hands, no? Konting-konti lang. So, if I want to tilt to this direction, I would move forward, but look, as I move forward, lahat kasama. So, contact points are not changing. Versus if you're trying to bow na ganun, nagbago yung contact points mo. So, contact points are really important in keeping your bowing straight, in keeping the sound good. Okay, so how can you practice this? Of course, slowly, when you change direction, diba? When, for example, if you're going for a down bow, you have to make sure that your hands are sticking. Yun muna. And then, when you move to that direction, you have to make sure na hindi siya sumama. Hindi sasama yung bow. No, your bow should remain in the same spot or at the same angle as where it is. So don't tilt while moving muna. No, if you're starting out. So flat bow, and then try to imitate the action without moving the bow to go here or go there. No, ganun lang. Yeah. So when you do a down bow, and then pull. The same thing with your up bow. When you're right here, same contact points. I didn't change. So down and up, no? So you can practice this without the violin. Kung wala ka ring bow, let's say you're using a pen, hold one part of it with your left hand, and then hold the others like your bow or right hand. Ayan. And then down bow, you have to feel na ito pa rin yung contact points ko. Down bow, up bow. Down bow, up bow. Makikita mo yun agad. So, kung mapapansin nyo, it's still at this angle. Whether I move it down or up, it doesn't change. But this is what happens kapag hindi natin pinansin yung contact points. Down, ayun na, nag-tilt na siya, di ba? Nag-roll na yun. And then up, no? Down and up. Yun yung kailangang iwasan natin. So, it's using a different set of muscles. It's using a different set of movements. So, you have to really understand your body well, no? In order for you to be able to do this on your down bow and then this on your up bow. Para hindi siya nagbabago. Kasi, again, this is where it ends up happening yung tunog natin inconsistent. No? So, sa G-string ko siya ginagawa because it's the easiest string to see the effect, diba? So, again, minsan pag nagda-down bow, ganyan. So, narinig nyo, may parang so, that means tumama yung stick, diba? So, and then pag nag-up bow, doon nangyayari yung whistling, doon nawawala yung contact. Mapansin nyo din yung pagka-dense ng sound niya. It's not that dense. Very, very loose yung sound. Very hollow in quality. Versus, if I put it there, flat, and then pull, and then up bow. So as you can see, wala masyadong movement dun sa bow. Kasi, again, the relationship of the stick and the hair is very, very important. Diba? If we have the stick on top of the hair, lahat yun tatama sa strings. But if you just tilt it a little bit at an angle, iba na yung magiging quality ng sound. Again, this is not wrong technique, no? Because, again, you will still use tilting bows in more advanced techniques. But the way you tilt your bow is important. It should always be deliberate. It should always be in control and measured by you. Okay? Huwag nating hayaan na dalin tayo doon no kamay natin. No? Don't let your hands work independently from what you want to do. Always take control of your instrument. Always take control of your playing. Alright? Sana nakatulong tong video na to. If it did, drop a like. And of course, comment down below more content you'd like to see. If you have any questions regarding these techniques, we can also do further videos on this. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on all my socials. Links in the description box below. And of course, my course on Udemy is still available. Check it out. This has been Ryan Monakil for Violin Tips and Tricks. And I'll see you on the next video.